What up, what up, what up? This is Mike the Philosopher here with another one. This one is Make a Move. All right. Without further ado, let's just go right on in. First up, I noticed that Ashley, she talks to her about her insecurities. And listen, this is one of the things I really like about this woman. She's very transparent. She's very in tune with herself. She's very open to others about what she's going through and her insecurities. This might be an issue with a lot of people, but they probably don't have the cojones to really come out and talk about their insecurities. So that tells me that she has a level of bravery about her. And because, there's bravery in vulnerability, and a lot of people, let alone women, don't want to really talk about insecurities. Okay, it's just not a subject that they want to admit to, and it's not a subject that they want to really bring to the forefront. But I thought that was very mature. This is why I like this woman, man. I like this woman, Ashley. I think she's really dope chick. You know, pretty much what you see is what you're going to get with her. And I love that. Love that about her. She's a grown adult woman. It's funny because sometimes I look at Ashley as being a grown adult woman who acts like a kid. And sometimes I look at Zadia as being uh, and a woman, a kid that acts like a woman, or a kid that is a woman. It's I kind of look at them like polar opposites almost. It's kind of weird, but anyway, shout out to Ashley, man, for being transparent and being open about her insecurities. Then the fellas come in the house. They stomp in like they own the joint. Cameron started to talk about his time, and he's a very busy man, and he know that maybe this is not going to be enough for Zadia. I mean, yeah, because you know he's a doctor. His hours is not regular hours, not regular 9 to 5s. If you don't want a regular 9 to 5 guy, then you're going to have to deal with non-regular 9 to 5 guy hours. Okay. The only guy that can get away with that and make a whole lot of money and still got time is somebody who's doing something illegal. Okay. So you got to take the good with the bad. Okay. And this is one thing I wish a lot more women would understand is you cannot have it all. You can't. Universe won't allow it. Never mind what I say. The universe won't allow it. You can't have it all. Trade-offs all the time. Oh, he's a doctor. Oh, he's a, pharmacist. Okay. Maybe, maybe Walgreens is backed up or something. Who knows? Maybe he got to get the drugs ready for the next, week or something. I don't know. But the guy is busy. That's what you like, right? It's the prestige of his job. Well, just like a medical doctor, a medical doctor, they do a lot of hours. Yeah, you got a doctor, but guess what? He never home. He's never home. You wanted a doctor, you got one. Be careful what you wish for. If you can't handle that, then don't waste his time. Let him go until there's a woman who can handle that. Okay? Because it's not fair to him. And you should have known that's what you were getting into. You wanted a doctor, you got one. But Cameron said he knows it's starting to be a problem. There's probably a problem with a lot of his exes too, that he's just not there all the time. Um, and listen, part of me don't really blame Zadia for wanting to be with Cameron sometimes. Like, can't you carve out some time for me? You know. But man, I don't know. A part of me is a part of me is feeling like Cameron is juggling another woman too. But that's just male intuition. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case, but I have a feeling Zaddy is not the only chick this brother is entertaining. Let's just put it that way. And he can't be everywhere all the time. But you ain't gonna never hear him say that. Okay. Um, but there you have it. Now, next up, Ashley talks to Christian about, the whole Stormy situation. And, let me be real. I really don't feel like Cameron is as invested as Ashley is. And a part of me feels like Ashley is so caught up in this guy's looks that she is not seeing some, red flags, so to speak. She's not seeing some warning signs. She sort of see them. She sort of see them, but she's kind of letting this guy get by. And I don't know if it's because he's the best looking one. I don't know. But things that she would let Christian get away with, she won't let somebody like Don get away. Like Don, you can't get away with not calling me or not talking to me or whatever the case may be. Christian, he can kind of get away with that stuff. This is when you know a woman is really going after a guy's looks, more so than his personality. And it happens all the time. And I'm gonna tell you, I was on it's hard to believe, but I was on the receiving end of that sometimes. I would probably get away with more, but at the same time, I just feel like she just lets Christian get away with too much. She just let Christian get away with too much. And she actually said that he played it off well. I didn't think he played it off well with Stormy at all. But she gave him a pass on that. I was like, what? He played it off well? I didn't see that. So that's let me know that she is really giving this guy a lot of grace. So, I don't know. Next up, Bernicia, she decides to move on from Jabari. And listen, a part of me feels like this is all Liz doing. This is all Liz. Because she was rocking from Jabari since day one. And soon as Liz pop on the scene, all of a sudden Jabari ain't good enough. Now I know what some of the ladies thinking. Yeah, she had her friend there to help her and all this, that, and the third. And she helped her see he had to be equally yoked and all this other stuff. Bull. Okay. Liz is about the sisterhood and the sisterhood only. A part of me feels like she don't want Vernicia to get a man. A part of me feels that she don't want Vernicia to get no man because she don't want no man coming in between the sisterhood. She don't want no man coming between their friendship. So she's going to redirect her from the guy that she feels like is the biggest threat to their friendship. So, Jabari is not the one, girl. You got to be equally yoked. And him, he expect you to be a wife and stuff. We ain't trying to be no wives. We're just trying to be on TV and do our and take our girl trips and do our sisterhood stuff. That's what we do. Some might not blame it on Liz, but I blame it on Liz. It wasn't until she got on the show, and I could probably guarantee you something, that she would have kept Jabari if Liz wasn't there. But because she found a guy with less time to deal with and less time to spend time with her, she said, that's the guy you need to go after. I don't know. I place a lot of, I guess you could say, blame on Liz for that whole breakdown with the Jabari. And she probably did Jabari a favor too, because Jabari does need probably more of a humble woman. I think Vernisha was close to that, but Vernisha got so many options now. It's just like, it is what it is. So, next up, Ashley, she keeps Christian, but her instincts is starting to kick in around this time. Like, I do see her saying, the antenna's starting to go up. Like, is this going to be a thing? Am I reaching too far? Because her gut is telling me, or telling her gut is telling her, look, this is the guy I normally go after, and I always get burnt. Should I still continue to deal with this cat? And my answer to that will be no. This is going to sound a little weird, but hear me out, ladies. Christian is on another level than Ashley. And what I mean by that is, this guy is not going to stay loyal to Ashley. Okay? He's not. He might, I think he's playing the part so far just to, I don't know if it's to stay on the show. I don't know what he's getting out of staying on the show. But Christian is not going to stay loyal to Ashley. And a part of her knows this. He's going to let her down at some point. And a part of her instincts are kicking in to say, you know what? This might be the time when, I'm starting to feel it in my gut. And that old trusty gut, I know I should be listening to it because it hasn't done me wrong so far. And she's right. She should listen to her gut because this is not the guy for her. This is not the guy for her. I don't even think Christian, to be honest, is that attracted to Ashley. I don't think he is. He probably see her as a 5. So her instincts is kicking in, and I see it kicking in, but they need to start taking over a little bit. And Ashley is quieting her instincts just because she likes this guy. She likes how he looks. She likes how they communicate, how they talk. And he put a little sugar in her ear, and I want this to continue and all this other stuff. And then, he finally give her the kiss. So, they they get a little closer. But come on, man, you're not. Be real with her. Don't break her heart. I'm very protective of Ashley. I really like Ashley. I'm very protective of her, and I don't want to see her get hurt at all. And I think she will with Christian. So she needs to drop that dude. Moving on. Charisse, she moves on from Keith. It's like, look, thank you for coming. Here's a t-shirt and we'll catch you later, pretty much, because, the guy doesn't really travel. That's her thing. If that's her thing, that's her thing. It's It's a, I put it like this. You go back into the 50s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. How many women will be picking men based on how many vacation spots that they've been to? Like, for real. Women in the 40s and 50s, they wouldn't be taking into consideration, oh, how many vacation spots you've been to. They don't they wouldn't look at that shit. Like, nowadays, women got so many check boxes you got to check off just to so-called be acceptable to them, that they price themselves out of the dating pool. And now, oh, he ain't even got his passport. Up, I gotta move on. I'm a passport girl. 40s, 50s, 60s, these ladies did. Black men haven't even got their passports until now. until the 2020. Okay, so right after the pandemic, then brothers started getting passports. We ain't never had no passports. How many women in the 40s and 50s and all that, all the way up to the 80s, was checking on dudes based on their travel? Not practically none of them. That wasn't even a part of the conversation. That wasn't even a box to check off. Now all of a sudden it's a box. Oh, well, you have to at least travel to, you have to at least be able to get out of the country. I'm a passport girl, and you're not. It's like, I wonder if women realize what they're doing. I wonder if you realize that it's not the men that has changed, it's the women that has changed. And you're pricing yourselves out of the market based on the number of boxes you keep adding to your list for men to check off. And if we got to check off all of these boxes, look, listen, if you put 1 million things on a must-have list, I ain't gonna match all those motherfuckers. Ain't no man gonna match all of them. Oh, you like to watch sunsets, and okay, yeah, I'll check that off. But you like to do this, you like to do that. I'm not, that's not me. I'm not that dude. Oh, you need a simp? I'm not checking that box. So I'm disqualified. Oh well, good luck finding that other guy. Yeah, oh, you might find a simp, but he ain't gonna have some of the traits and things that I got. So he'll disqualify too. The more boxes you add, the harder you're making it for yourself. It just is what it is. He seemed like a decent guy, nice guy. To me, it wasn't so much that he didn't travel that much. To me, it was a bit of his personality. He did seem a little boring, to be honest. I would have probably respected it more if she was not into him because he was boring. But because he didn't travel, I thought that was ridiculous. But, if he's boring, I could kind of understand that. But anyway. Next up, the friends, they leave. Vernisha and Liz, oh my goodness, Liz is so happy. We're still in the sisterhood. Yay. You can see the smile on her face, and Liz is just loving the sabotage she did. Oh, I got rid of that long-term ninja. Okay, I'm glad I was here for that one. I finally got rid of him. You're welcome, girl. Sister. So she was happy she did her damage. Sharice and LJ, she said LJ was a catch. They be kissing each other on the cheek and the hug. They got a nice little friendship. A part of me feel like Sharice didn't bring a woman because she don't get along with women. She don't really get along with men. But LJ is a special type of person because he has the patience of a man, A lot of women don't have patience, so they're not going to be able to deal with Sharice. But LJ has the patience of a man, and at the same time, he has the psychology to, and he probably still a little bit attracted to Sharice, so he's going to stick around. He's going to be one of those, one of them bonus friends Sharice got, in case of emergency, break glass, call LJ. He probably come over, rotate the tires, and then leave out. I don't know. But she said he was a good catch. They seem to be pretty close and intimate, so I would dig a little deeper into how close are y'all really? How close are y'all really? And then you have Zadia and Camille, and she told this woman, "Thanks for coming. Here's a t-shirt. Go home." Zadia is so disrespectful to Camille. I never found myself champion and getting the back of Camille more than I am right now. Okay, on her episode, she was a hot mess. So that part I can kind of understand, but in this situation, I thought she was on her best behavior. She was on her best behavior for the most part, and she was nothing but helpful to Zadia. But like I said in the last episode, this is a woman child for real. She's a child. I just don't understand a lot of the ways of Zadia, but I'm gonna get more into that a little later on. But Camille, hats off to Camille. She did an excellent job, and she looks like she was like, "You ungrateful somebody. I came here to help you out, and you're crapping on me on TV." I mean, that's the look in her face, and I don't blame her. Zadia is just a lot to deal with. Okay, go home. Come on now. Next up, she meets with Darius, right? And she is not impressed with Darius. This woman is a trip. She's just a trip. She have checked out. She's really checked out. She's checked out of the whole process. She's really not open to nobody else. She got her mind only on camera. Okay. And, she says she already got a man who's a photographer and in the medical field, and I don't need no duplicate. And it's like, oh my goodness, woman, child. Just because these guys share interests don't mean they're the same man. Okay? They easily have two different personalities. Now, yeah, they might share the same interests, maybe even the same career. But both of them aren't going to make you feel a certain type of way, the same. They're not going to make you feel the same. You're probably going to get more out of one than the other. Stop comparing careers and interests and look at them as human beings. But if all you care about is a man and what he does for a living, then yeah, they're the same. But you haven't, and this is why I think she's caught up with Cameron, because of what he does. Not who he is, but what he does. Because she's saying, I already got that. I already got a man who does this. And apparently that's what mattered more than anything else, is that he's a doctor / pharmacist. So what do I need another one for? Oh, you work in the ER? Big deal. That's the look she gave. So you work, you're a photographer and you work in the ER? Whatever. Now, if she didn't have Cameron, she would have been impressed by that. You see what I'm saying? If she didn't have Cameron, she would have been impressed by that guy's resume. But because she already got that, I don't need another one. Plus, he ain't as tall as Cameron. I like him tall. Yeah, okay. Then don't say nothing when that dude don't show up for you. I'm just being real. Don't say nothing when he don't show up for you. You got it like that, then accept the good, accept the bad. So I don't know. I didn't like how she kind of treated Darius because she never really gave the brother a chance. She was checked out. She was making all kind of looks and looking all goofy and stuff. And it's like, and she even said it. I'm trying to respect the process and her matching me and all of this, but I can't really see anybody else and all this other stuff. And it's like, this woman is wasting people. I said that in the other episode. Why don't you just take your boyfriend and go off the show, because you're not even really giving anybody else a chance. And this is another reason why I think maybe they smashed already. And this is another reason why I think Cameron all of a sudden ain't got much time for it, because he already got it. Okay? He already got it. Okay, now it's back to work or back to my other chicks. Anyway, don't feel bad for Zadia in the slightest, to be honest. And to me, again, she's just so immature. She's just very immature as a woman. Now, listen, this is what the phenomenal, this is one of the women I respect the most on this planet. Okay, Sister Shahrazad Ali. Now, this woman is phenomenal to me. She's a modern day. She's just great. I'll put it that way. Some call her the mother of the manosphere. Okay, because she wrote the book The Black Man's Guide. Go check it out. But anyway, this is her saying. This is not my saying. Before you jump down my throat, this is her saying. Her saying is, women don't grow past the age of 14 emotionally. The only thing that they do is use the knowledge and information to help them decipher their 14-year-old emotions. Not a direct quote, but it was sort of in that realm. Okay, again, this is not my saying. This is the Sister Shahrazad Ali. She said women don't grow past 14 emotionally. They only gather information to help them out with their 14-year-old emotions. In other words, a 50-year-old woman can still rile up and get an attitude like a 14-year-old, but she has to use knowledge and experience to stop doing that. You're 50 years old, and you still moving like a 14-year-old. Some women will use their knowledge and wisdom, others won't. They'll still operate in that 14-year-old emotional mentality. Now, that's not to say they can't, get intelligence and information. They're intelligent, but emotionally, they're still practically children. This is what she said. When I look at Zadia, I tend to agree. When I look at Sharice, I tend to agree. Now, the other two women, I think they use knowledge and wisdom that they've gained to circumvent that. The Vernicia and Ashley, they seem to be more mature emotionally. But that's what Sister Shahrazad Ali said, and I have to say, to some degree, I agree with that, especially emotionally, you know. And Zadi is a perfect example of that. And there's a lot of Zadias out there, believe it or not. It's a lot. She has company. She is not alone. Okay. Um, Next up, Charisse, she meets Danzy, and this guy comes off very charismatic. He say he sells drugs for a living. I guess that's one of his favorite opening lines. But he's in the pharmaceutical business, and he he seems to be happy in his dream job. He's probably making a ton of money. It's always a lot of money in drugs, so he's probably making a killing. Probably even doing better than Mizell financially, at least. And very charismatic guy. You could tell he's a salesman. You could tell he's a salesman. You could tell he has a bit of a extrovert personality. Outgoing guy. And I said this before. Show me what a guy does or a person does for a living, and I show you a big part of who they are in their personality. If he's a salesman, he's going to move like a salesman. You know what I mean? So she met him. Next up, Ashley meets Kenneth. And he's a principal, and they're getting along. And I think that this is a pretty good matchup because they both, I believe Ashley works for schools. I think she's a teacher and he's a principal, so yeah, why not? It should work out. And they seem to have a lot of things line up as far as career and maybe maturity, things like that. But then he said he hasn't been in a relationship in 10 years. And Ashley said that is some baggage. I don't want to have to deal with no baggage. Ladies, let me ask y'all, put it in the comments. Is a man not being in a relationship for 10 years baggage? And if that's baggage, why is that baggage? I'd be interested to know. Now, let me give you an example of why I think this is ridiculous. Okay. If a woman goes to school and she gets her 4-year degree and she goes for her, master's and things like that, and she tells the world she hasn't been in a relationship in 10 years because she was busy building herself and going to school, nobody bats an eye. Not the men, not the women. But if a man says he done the same thing, it ends up being baggage. Make it make sense. How is that? The guy is a principal. He obviously was studying and working hard, building himself up. Now, he said he had some situationships, and I'm sure you did too, Ashley. But a man can say the same thing, and all of a sudden it's interpreted as baggage. I thought that was ridiculous. Ashley, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Sometimes I think she let some of the, and this is one of my only knocks with Ashley, okay? is sometimes I see things that should get through to her. They should, and she don't let them through. And some things I think that she sees that she shouldn't let through, she let them through. It seemed like a lot of her decision making is based on her attraction to you, for real. And this is probably a lot of women. If y'all really attracted to a guy or what he does or how he looks or whatever the case may be, you're going to let a lot of stuff slip past the goalie. But if you're not that attracted to the guy, all of a sudden, the little things, the smallest thing is going to annoy the hell out of you. And you're not going to give that guy a chance at all. I think that's crazy. I think that's crazy. Like you don't judge people the same. You don't look at them the same. You you show favoritism. And look, I'm not saying men don't do this either. Okay. Men will see a woman who's very attractive and let her get away with all kind of crap. I'm not saying this is just women. Men do that too. And maybe even more so than women. Okay, but I'm noticing it because I'm seeing the women do it. And she is really seeming to make, to me that's small. To me that's not a big deal that he wasn't in a relationship for 10 years. I don't understand why she call that baggage. I really don't. What do you mean baggage? Like, I don't know. Anyway, Vernisha, she meets Kentrell. And, the brother seems to be okay. He seemed a little quirky to me, but he seemed to make a pretty good first impression. So, they meet up and everything, and he seems to he just seemed a little quirky to me. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's his mannerisms or something. He's one of those guys you probably could mistake for being, alternative LGBT. If from a male perspective, a lot of guys will look at him and be like, something to seem off. He don't seem to be sitting in his manhood. You know what I mean? Cool guy and all, but I don't know, man. That was a little bit of my impression of him. Like I said, I think he's a cool guy. He made a good impression on Vernisha, but a part of me was like, this guy is not sitting in his manhood, and a real man would know when another guy is not sitting in his manhood and not, coming across manly. And he was showing a little bit of that, but I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying, and I'm not even, like I said, I'm not calling him that. Okay, I'm just simply saying, say it with your chest. That's pretty much what I'm saying. Say it with your chest. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my take on Kentrell first impression. But she was impressed with him, so that's all that matters. Then the ladies, they go out. It's time to party. Okay? It's time to party, celebrate the beautiful Zadia. Right? But let me tell you, Vernisha, you're looking good, girl. You're looking real good. Okay? In that ensemble that you had. And you probably got a lot of the guys' attention, not just your guys. You probably got a lot of guys' attention. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. But you was looking good. And she is sitting a bit in a hot seat, right? Because she got two guys that's there and they're sitting next to her. One or the other. They just, you know, they just staying close to her. Look, Venetia is a beautiful woman. I give her that. These guys, though, I'm not sure why she likes either one of these guys. I'm gonna be real. I'm not sure. None of them don't seem to really fit her. I thought Jabari was the better person for her because he seemed like a man. Now, I'm not saying that these guys are not men, but they just don't look right with her, if that makes sense. One of them looks like he looked too short and too, I don't know. I don't know if he's big enough to handle the equipment, to be honest. And the other one is a little quirky and nerdy, and it's like, I don't know. I don't starting to question how she picks men, to be honest. I'm starting to question how she picks men. But they are in direct competition with each other, and it looks a little awkward. It looks a little awkward with them two, especially with Kentrell, because Kentrell, he just has. She said he was acting like he was shy or insecure or nervous or anxious, and he was acting that way, almost like he didn't know how to move in these social sets and things like that. So he's probably a bit of a nerd. And that's probably, he ain't got no swag points at all. And that's probably, and unfortunately with sisters, you need a whole lot of swag points. You just do. Sisters love swagging, man. And brothers got more of that than anybody else. But they nowadays they starting to give up on the swag points for the zaddy points. Okay, but that's a self-esteem thing. I'll leave that alone. But anyway, she was in the hot seat with both of those guys, but who knows what's going to come of it. And around this time, I see Zadia, and she starts to look very anxious. Why? Because her man is late. Cameron, where are you, bruh? You got to start making time. You ain't making time. And a part of me is laughing. Why? Because you want to crap on every other man they put in your face to the point where you ain't got nobody showing up. And this is your birthday party. Zadia, talk about kicking yourself. You should you messed your own self up by not giving other guys the chance that they deserve, putting all your eggs in the Cameron basket. Why? Probably because he done smashed already, and they're not going to disclose that because they want the integrity of the show to stay what it is. They probably know, but they're not going to air that because it'll make the women look bad. So they're going to keep that on the low and proceed with the show as if these two haven't smashed already. And she put all her eggs in that basket, and now, like they boyfriend and girlfriend already, like they're a couple already. And shutting down all the other guys, all the other applicants. Oh, she comparing them all to Cameron. Comparing them all. Oh, well, you a photographer and you in the medical. Oh, I already got one of those. Oh, you no, you ain't cute. You ain't tall enough. You ain't all this other. And then when her man don't show up, a part of me is laughing. That's what you get. That's what you get. Now, a part of me feels bad because it is her birthday. I mean, if it wasn't her birthday, I'd really be laughing. But a part of me feels bad because it's her birthday. She should be celebrating it and having that guy on her arm. But maybe the message will get through a little more since it's her birthday. Start trying to get to know people on a deeper level instead of just a surface level. I know you're just a surface chick. You have no depth of your own. I know, I get this. But you need a man with depth, okay? And not just be, taken out in the hay, smashed, and then pretty much dashed and dumped. Because I think that's what happened, to be honest. Anyway, I'll leave it alone because I can't verify none of that. But my instincts are pretty good. And I'm seeing telltale signs of that already. But she's not alone. Ashley, too. Ashley is anxious. Why? Because Kirsten ain't showed up. Now, where is this brother? What these brothers do? Talk to each other and just hung out with each other? Neither one of them showed up. And these the guys that probably, in my opinion, probably got the biggest heads, probably think the most of themselves. Kirsten, now here's what I think happened with Kirsten. Kirsten, I think, he probably talked to somebody close to him, and they said, "Do you really like this chick?" He probably said, "Not like that." They probably said, "You shouldn't go to this party and stop leading this woman on. Let her get the message." And he said, "You know what? I'm gonna bow out now. And yeah, maybe I shouldn't go. Maybe I should bow out." Now, from what I see, he do show up in the next episode, and she talked to him. But I just think the guy is not as invested as Ashley is, and it just is what it is. But Don show up, all right, for Ashley. Show up in a big way. Get his woman, spin her around a couple times, and she couldn't be happier. Let me say this. Ashley, that's your man. You need to drop everybody else. Okay? You need to do a Zadia and pick one guy and just rock out with him. But Zadia did it with the wrong guy. If you do that with Don, you'll do that with the right guy. Don is your man. He looks at you with hearts in his eyes. He said, "Oh my goodness, you're gorgeous." You know what I mean? He loved to ask. I can't blame him. I do too. One thing you got, girl, is backyard for days. I love it. Okay. But that is your man. Don is your guy. Stop playing. Get rid of everybody else and rock out with Don. This guy shown effort. I mean, first of all, you dismissed him over some texts that he sent, but just wasn't getting through to your phone. So he started calling you. And meanwhile, you letting Kirsten get away with all kind of stuff. You did invite Dom, which was a smart move on your end, and he shows up. That is your dude. It's simple as that. I'm a strong believer in that. Next up, Danzy, he just the brother makes an ass out of himself, right? And he just it looks like he drunk too much, and he tried to put his hand around Sharice a little bit, and she was like, "Oh, did I tell you you could put your hand on?" And he was like, "Oh, is that not the thing to do? What's up?" You know. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. Mizell got no worries.
Look me in my face. I ain't got no worries. I ain't got no worries. I ain't got no worries.
Mizell got no worries. She leaned into him. He got his forehead kiss. You think you would thought it was the best man. He got his forehead kiss. Okay, and that was the talk of the town. You know. There's a sidebar to Mizell, but as far as that situation was concerned, he got some cool points from Sharice on that. And it's around this time that I look at Zadie and I look at her face, right? And she is in her feelings. How is everybody else here with their man? And my man, I'm the birthday girl, and my man didn't show up. Ain't nothing to do but, you know, get another plate of food. You know what I mean? Look at the skyline, and just kind of fiddle around while everybody else is falling in love. Like I said, a part of me don't feel bad for Zadia, because I don't like the way she treats other men. I just don't. She don't give them a fair shot. But a part of it is sad to see, because it is her birthday. You know. Now back to Mizell. There's a couple things that happen next episode. I don't want to step on those things too much, because I want to talk about them next episode. Apparently, Mizell shoots his number over to Vernicia, and I'm gonna tell you, Vernicia was making an impression with that dress. I'm gonna just or that ensemble she had on. She was making an impression. All right. And so much though that Mizell slid. So I don't know how he got her number, but he must have asked for it and she must have gave it to him. So it's like, okay. Why did you even give him your number, Vernicia? Inquiring minds want to know. And he ain't even text Sharice. Couple other things, and Ashley, she talks to Kirsten, and you know, they have a powwow. So there are some big things coming up in next episode. I'm not going to step on those things for right now, but crazy episode. Let me know what y'all think about this. I told y'all what I think. I really would be interested to know. Hit the like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.